Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 9 of our F222 Theo Porcher career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend for the French Grand Prix, of course, Theo's home race weekend in this series. If you missed out last weekend's videos from Austria, I would highly recommend going back and checking them out. The F2 career mode is bringing its fair share of spice to the channel at the moment. But quickly though, before we jump into this, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for the continued support on the channel. 94k, that's been ticked off. We're less than 6,000 away now from 100,000 subscribers. If you haven't clicked that big red button, please do consider clicking it down below as well. If you want to see daily Formula 1 related content. But having a look then towards the French Grand Prix, 16 points separate myself and our big title rival Felipe Drugovich. There's an 80-point gap back down to Jack Doohan, who is now into P3 there. I mean, the battle for P3 is very, very intense, but we're focused on the battle for the Drivers' Championship. Of course, we took a few points out of Felipe last weekend. Fingers crossed we can continue to do that today. Theo Porcher's home Grand Prix. Let's try and make it count. Right, well, the Castellet is looking rather soggy, I think it's safe to say, here on Friday afternoon. We'll wait and have a look, see what the weather's meant to do over the rest of the weekend. That'll really dictate just how sort of much of a setup, or wet setup, sorry, we put on the car there. I'm just going to try and tweak around my numbers as best as possible. Sometimes the F2 cars can handle quite weirdly in the rain on Fanatec gear, so I have to be a bit careful of that as well. So sprint races, okay. Sprint race is meant to go from dry potentially to wet, so that one could get quite interesting there. Feature race Sunday is meant to be dry apparently, but the graphic is a little bit balked. But yeah, let's get into qualifying though here from the Castellet. We need to try and get this nailed. It is going to be quite a tough test. Final corner. Oh, it's not going to be the best qualifying lap in the world, though. We lost a lot of time in Sector 1, P16 in the end. That's been a bit of a disaster to kickstart the weekend. That's going to mean we're starting 16th for both Grand Prix here, but we've just got to get on with it.
Down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top three.
Doohan, Drugovich, Callan Williams.
The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, goodbye.
Well, Jack Doohan then pole position here on his UNI Virtuosi car just beats out Felipe Drugovich, and it's his fellow Aussie on the second row there ahead of Yuri Vips. But we were 4 tenths away from pole, and that's only good enough for P16 there. We're alongside Felipe Drugovich's teammate Clement Novalak, last weekend's winner Logan Sargent down in P18 as well. but we're just going to have to get on with it. It's going to be a lot of overtaking in the races if we want to try and score some good points.
We're here at Castellet, and it looks to be a thrilling event ahead of us. The drivers are making their final preparations, and in a very short time, we'll be starting today's race. Today's drivers need to master the 15 corners of Paul Ricard, 6 left-handers and 9 rights spaced around the 3.6-mile circuit. The longest section is the famous Mistral Straight, which is split into 2 by the colourful Chicane Nord, which offers a potential overtaking hotspot. But the drivers there need to take care. Those brightly coloured stripes don't offer much grip and won't be kind to tyres. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive, and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Right, well, here we are then on the grid here in Castellet P16, but we are meant to potentially see some rain towards the end of this one. Of course, the Formula 2 cars don't actually have an intermediate compound tyre. It just goes from dry to full wet. So it is going to be quite a test then if it does start raining later on in the GP. But only 11 laps ahead of us as well. I always forget Castellet, because it's so high speed. It really is quite a quick Grand Prix. But yeah, we've got a lot of work to do today. Didn't quite get the qualifying lap I wanted, but hopefully we can try and deliver on Saturday. And, of course, Sunday tomorrow. Round in the final couple of corners then. Getting ready to line up on the grid here from Castellet. And hopefully today we can try and, at the very least, get back into the points. So, of course, Felipe Drugovich is only going to be starting P9. It's going to be Sunday where we're going to have to do a lot of the work, but getting ready then, trying to make sure we line up purple. We need to get every tiny advantage we possibly can here. But waiting on the 5 red lights, though, here in Castellet. Hopefully we can try and get a good start once more. 5 red lights. Very long hole, but it is lights out, and away we go. As Ollie Caldwell has absolutely bolted off the line there as we head down towards turn 1. One of my worst starts in the Formula 2 cars there as Clement Novelak. I've been pushed from behind. Jake Hughes there giving me a bit of a push down in towards turn 1 there, so apologies to Clement there. Of course, our other Frenchman in this field would not want to come together early on there. It's Fred Vesti, our teammate, losing spots to Amory Cordial in the first few corners, and we're going to try and get around the outside there. This is why Castellet Sector 1 does work out quite nicely, as you have got space to manoeuvre and try to take some different lines. As what on earth is Cordial and Novelak doing? That time around I did definitely just go into the back of Clement there, but we're up one... No, we're not even up a single place there after all of this. Somehow Fred Vest has lost like 4 spots off the launch, and we are definitely running a bit more downforce than I think a lot of other cars here. But to the inside of Amory Cordial, we're going to try and go. Do not move out in the braking zone. Come on, Amory. You've got to be more aware of what's going on around you there. Tries to move in the braking zone and then tries to just turn in on me anyway. So he's going to lose places to both ART cars off the start. But looks like we've got 2 drivers that have really bolted away at the front of the field. I feel like that might be Awasa or Sato. And then Fittipaldi, I want to say. I think... I think Jembolic Bassi was a bit further down the order. We'll get confirmation of who's leading, of course, at the end of lap 1. But yeah, quite a dramatic start then to this French Grand Prix from Castellet. But will we expect any different in the F2 cars? I'm not convinced we would. Headed down in towards the final couple of corners. We're still behind our fellow Frenchman, Clement Novelak, but we've both made forward progress at the start of this one. As all you can see, a bit of Constantina and up through the final corner, and around the outside of Clement will try to go. It is Jembolic Bassi, sorry, that leads the way at the end of lap 1, and he has got one other driver in hot pursuit as we're going to go side by side with Novelak back down in towards the first corner. Up the inside will go, trying to squeeze him out on the exit of the corner there, and we will just slide through and up into 14th. Well, I feel like, to be honest, we're actually running quite a good setup around this circuit for the drive. We might have struggled a bit in the rain yesterday, but as we head in towards Scene Corner Hill, all over the back of Richard Verschoor, we'll get underneath him, and Richard Verschoor will jump out of the way there in his Trident. We absolutely cannot afford to take prisoners this afternoon, as here comes for sure back up the inside. We'll give him some room, but of course, yeah, just can't really do a lot on the exit of the corner there. You kind of get pinched if you're on the inside, just on the rear quarter of the car in front of you. But Ollie Caldwell, of course, as well, they're at a lightning start down towards turn 1 and really did make some good moves. Hopefully, we can put a move on him. New fast lap of the day as well. I was not expecting that one, but nice to know we have got good pace. So I've just noticed as well, the sky above the circuit is moving around very, very quickly in some spots. So you know what that means? Weather is on the way. There we go. Just a quick look at the clouds above us. We are meant to see a few drops towards the end, but yeah, it's whether the circuit will get wet and how much the AI are going to struggle as well. Often you find, can we do a move on Ollie Caldwell? Yes, we can. Jump out of the way, my friend. Yeah, what you sometimes find, though, of course, on a track that's getting damp, is the AI either become really weak or really OP. There seems to be no in-between. Next up, though, Jack Doohan, pole sitter for tomorrow. Look at this train of cars from P3 backwards there. Jack Doohan just sat in front of myself, but I think it is, yeah, it is Ayumu Iwasa and Yuri Vips, I want to say, battling in front of that group. It might be Marcus Armstrong in the other high-tech, but yeah, a lot of battling going on from P3 downwards here, so there's going to be a lot of opportunities to try and make overtakes, as the top two have absolutely ran away there, and you can just see what I mean, side by side, in towards the next couple of corners there. Iwasa seems to be going backwards under pressure now from Fittipaldi, so one of the high-techs has snuck through, and I think we've just got to be patient. I mean, this could end up a bit like Silverstone a couple of weekends ago. I'm going to wait and see what happens. Well, the UNI Virtuosi car, Jack Doohan, is still in front of me at the moment, but we need to start trying to make some moves, making an impact on this big old train of cars there, because like I said, this does extend right up to the podium places, but there is still the chance for some good points here. I think Clement Novelak has also taken my fastest lap bonus point, so if we can get inside the top 8, we might be able to get that point back, which would be quite nice. Actually, might only need a top 10, mightn't you, in these sprint races as well there, so theoretically 9 cars in a sprint can score points, but yeah, we've got to try and work our way around the Virtuosi as we head up towards the infamous flat, or almost flat out, not quite, in an F2 car, bring it down to 5th gear just to get the nose in. Can we have a look through here? Been my favourite overtaking place so far. Yes, it is once more, as every AI just likes to jump out the way a little bit. They panic when they see you there. Right, well, over half distance then in this sprint, and we are now behind our big rival Felipe Drugovich. Are we going to be able to work our way around the Brazilian, though, as we head up in towards the chicane there? Often we can try and get a better run off onto the second part there, but it can be quite risky over that curb, and we need to try and find out a couple of other places we can make overtakes around this lap, because just relying on that one corner is not really going to serve me too well throughout the entirety of the race tomorrow. We need to be able to go for moves in a couple of other spots. That being said, though, around the outside of Drugovich, no, not quite. I'm way too hot on the way in, but we might be able to get a good run off the corner, and to the inside we'll go. Drugovich is going to apparently not see me there. He then is going to notice a tiny bit of wheel-to-wheel contact on the exit. We did kind of barge him out, but felt like we got alongside far enough that we warranted some space. And we're now up into the top 10 there. Tempers fly between myself and our big championship rival. And Drugovich, I'm sure, not too happy with that one. So we've got yellow flags out now as well. Someone's going slowly. Is the car in front of us, or is it someone behind? I think it might be a car behind us. Oh, it's Drugovich! Felipe out of the race there. I don't think it was caused by the contact. I think Felipe Drugovich has been mecha-chromed in this sprint race, and it was always going to happen at some point, as we can still see. We've got Marcus Armstrong and Iwasa going side by side there. I've accidentally pulled off a move around the outside of Liam Lawson. Wait, nope. Bit of contact there between myself and the Kiwi. So just make sure that we don't gain an advantage from it. We try and head back out onto the circuit. There we go. We'll slot back in behind him. No advantage gained. In fact, we might lose a spot to Jack Doohan here. As Doohan going to try and get to the inside. I'm going to stick it around the outside of Lawson. So we will reclaim the place once more there. But yeah, just got a little bit tail happy as we tried to put the power down on the marbles. But look at this battle going on in front. There is still more opportunities here as Felipe Drugovich out of the sprint race from Le Castellet. Alan Williams separating us from the points, but not for much longer. Around the outside we'll go. Just got to make sure we don't run into the back of the Yuri Vips through the next corner. And we are now up into P8 then of this race. Marino Sato, new fastest lap there on a 1:48.80. So we need less than a tenth more than my PB. As here we go, Yuri Vips to the inside of Jan Ruvala. At turn 1, there's a bit of contact between the Estonian and the Indian drivers. There are even more contact on the exit. Can we try and capitalise on this? We might get a little bit boxed in there, but we'll get past Ruvala. We'll sneak to the inside of Yuri Vips as well, and that's a brave double overtake. Past 2 cars in one go, but those are the sorts of opportunities we need to be taking at the moment. Now into 6th place then of this sprint as Enzo Fittipaldi, Marcus Armstrong next up the road. Oh, more yellow flags out, another car going slowly behind us by the looks of it. Who's it going to be this time?
Let's get back up to racing speed.
It is, I want to say, Dennis Hauger. No, it's Jay Ruvala, so he must have dropped back quite drastically then. Behind quite a handful of cars there, but Jay Ruvala out with just 2 laps to go of this sprint race as we're desperately trying to reel in the gap to Fittipaldi and co. It might be a last lap dice for the final podium place. There we go, first lap in clean air. New fastest lap of the day, 44.3. Armstrong had just taken it on a 44.5, but you know, although Le Castellet, you got those 2 big DRS zones, yeah, it's still probably worth having the clean air for fastest laps. Well, it looks like the rain has stayed away then in this sprint race from Le Castellet, but Yumo Iwasa still defending for all his worth from Armstrong and Fittipaldi. You can just see as we head in towards the final lap, we are now going to sneak inside that DRS range as well. We've got a 4-car scrap for the final podium place then with 1 lap to go here from Le Castellet. Are we going to see Armstrong get a run on Iwasa back down towards someone? There looks to still be a battle going on for the lead up the road. So Sato and Jem Bollock-Bassi, they're still duking it out for the race lead. And who it looks like Jem has made that move work, but again, I'm sure we're going to see Sato get a good run down the back straight. They're trying to attack the curbs as best as possible as we head into the middle sector. Are we going to be able to get a run out onto the back straight? Are we going to be able to do anything? It really does depend on whether Armstrong can get a run on Iwasa. Maybe they can trip each other over there as Fittipaldi seems closer to the Kiwi than the Kiwi does to the Japanese driver in front of him there. Is Armstrong going to get close enough to Sato? Iwasa, it looks like he's trying to get the run, but Iwasa has got enough straight line speed in that Dams car as we get down to the end of the back straight, and I'm hoping we can try and catch Fittipaldi out on the exit of the corner there, and we have got the run on the young Brazilian there as we're going to try and pull to the inside. No, we haven't got enough top end speed, so Fittipaldi will hang on to the place for now and definitely not going to be able to get around the outside as we head in towards Seam Corner once again. Are we going to be able to do my old faithful move one final time in this race? Yes, we will. Up the inside of Fittipaldi will go. That's P5 then in this race. We'll try and just cover him off on the exit. You can see Armstrong perhaps struggling on his tyres as well. There are Iwasa. It's been a fantastic defensive drive from the young Japanese driver, but in towards the final couple of corners. Can we go for a brave dive on Marcus Armstrong there? We'll get to the inside of the Kiwi. It's a brave, bold, audacious move in the final corner of the Grand Prix. Fittipaldi's going to get him on the exit, but we're going to go 16th to 4th. Get in there.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So another fantastic victory for Charouz today. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
It was down to one thing: consistent pace over everyone else out there on the track. We could spend a great deal of time talking about race and tire strategy, what is so cool on the track, but at the end of the day, the difference here was down to simply being faster on track than everyone else. Amazing skill on show.
Looks like they're on their way out onto the podium now, and what a result this is, and a popular one with the crowd as well. Great stuff to see the Charouz team on top here today. After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. The gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race for our championship leader. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
My driver of the day was Theo. He did a cracking job moving through the field. Just a very good race.
And now a look at the team standings. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. Another team that will be satisfied with this race is Charouse, whose good result moves them further up in the championship. After all this drama, you would be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Well, there we are then. Jem Bassi, a race winner once more in this series. Started out the season really strong and then kind of a struggle in recent weekends, but back to winning ways for the young Turkish driver there. Marino Sato P2 ahead of Ayumu Iwasa. We come through for P4 ahead of Fittipaldi and Armstrong. Yuri Vips and Callum Williams will round out our top 10 there with Doohan and Lawson. Rounding out our point scorers there with Doohan and Lawson rounding out our top 10. 2 retirements, Jean Laruvula, and of course our big championship rival Felipe Drugovich from the Grand Prix today there. Jake Hughes down in last place means the gap at the top of the table has come down 10 points now between myself and Drugovich there, as Jem Bassi re-jumps Doohan, Sato jumps Sargent and Iwasa as well, and I don't think there's any other movers further down the rostrum as well. Constructors-wise, 12 points now separate MP Motorsport and ART, but we're going to have our work cut out in the feature race tomorrow there. Charouse jump high-tech once again. There seems to just be an ever ebbing and flowing battle there going on. Trident and Carlin, still 2 points separate them as we head in towards the feature race as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will be back very, very soon with more F222 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.